Hi guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing good and staying safe like always. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about a very important topic and aspect of pageantry that I haven't really covered before. And I was recently, in fact, the idea for this video topic was given to me by Rubia when in a previous vlog, I showed you guys that she came over and we had spoken for about 6 hours or even more. And during those conversations, we always love to reminisce about our pageant days, watching Harnaz at her homecoming recently, watching Manasa conquer at Miss World. Top 12 is a huge achievement in itself. And so having known these girls during our pageant days as well is just, it makes us believe in, the power of pageantry and how much it has empowered women in general. It's very heartwarming to see them grow, and some things that people don't really talk about when it comes to pageantry is, yes, it looks very glamorous, it looks like she has everything in the world that a girl could ever dream of, but then there is so much pressure on people who are in the public eye for a number of reasons. And to be able to do that job, because I always call that a title holder is a duty, it's a responsibility, and it's not just an achievement. The crown is never an achievement, it's a responsibility. Now, in order to prepare yourself for the type of platform and the type of jobs that are going to fall into your lap, the type of audiences that you may have to interact with, it's not just the physical preparation, but there's a lot of mental preparation as well that goes into it. And while Rubia was talking to me, we started discussing, and this one may be quite similar to the video where I made the best advice that I ever received about pageants. So she told me some things that had been told to her, and a lot of these things mostly make sense in hindsight, and if you're really smart and you can see in the future, you would probably realize it right away. But that's why I have this channel, right guys? Because I want you guys to be better prepared than we were going forward, just because you have so much more content to learn from. I did not have these videos to watch when I was preparing, so I hope that that can make a difference here. So in today's video, I'm going to be covering 5 points of what your mental temperament should be and what is the overall psychology of pageantry, or just how pageants, influence mental health a lot. Mental health is a topic that we speak about in so many places at so many times. It is the topic for a lot of Beauty with a Purpose projects as well. And yes, it's great to work towards improving the mental health of others, but before that, you have to ensure that your mental health is in place. And so for that reason, I'm going to be talking about how pageantry can definitely impact your mental health if you are not looking at it the right way, if you are not mentally prepared for the outcome of the pageant. And just like any other competition, any other challenge that you can take in life, whether or not you make it, whether your attempt is successful or not, it can definitely impact you mentally. But the only reason pageants are so much more impactful in both positive and negative ways at times is because women are in the public eye. There are so many people looking at you, and sometimes the parameters of what an outcome might imply is something that can impact the way you look at yourself. It can change the way you measure your own self-worth. And here I do want to talk about that. Yes, I speak about pageants so often on my channel, and so I in fact do get questioned by some people that, don't you think it's degrading to women, and don't you think that people should not really be vying to be the most perfect or the most beautiful person? And now I'm sure my audience knows by now that that is not what pageants are about. Also, before I start this video, there's a really cool announcement that we just made yesterday or a couple of days ago on Instagram, that we are conducting an anniversary workshop for Conquer, guys. Conquer with Nikita Tanwani is turning 1 year old on 11th of April next month. And so to be able to celebrate it with you guys and to be also making a learning opportunity out of it, we have decided to conduct an anniversary workshop, and it's happening in Bangalore, guys. Super excited to be doing this for the very first time, an offline workshop in a new city. So if you haven't really seen the Instagram post or even the YouTube post, go check that out. Grab your seats and hurry and register as soon as possible, because the batch closes as soon as we are full. So the first thing, and this was something that Rubia mentioned to me during our conversation, is that when she was headed into Miss India, she had been given this piece of advice, and it's just 2 words. It says that when you go into a pageant, everything is either an experience or an opportunity. So if things turn out in your favor, yes, it's a great opportunity. But if things don't turn out in your favor, just every interaction that you're gonna have with the team, every audition video that you're gonna submit, even if you don't make it, there is always feedback that you can get from the organization, and that is the learning experience that you are going to get from it. So instead of relying on the result alone and assuming that if I win, I'm the best, and if I don't win, I'm worthless. If you have that type of mindset, it's time to change it right away. I've said this in previous videos as well, that pageants are just a part of your life, and please, please, please let it remain just a part of your life. It cannot determine your self-worth in total. Now, before I move further down this video, there's one instance that I want to share with you where Natasha Grover had this very interesting conversation with our 2019 Miss India batch. But before that, I have to take a moment to talk about the 1% hyaluronic aqua gel sunscreen by Dermaco. I've been traveling with this sunscreen, and in fact, this is going to probably be my 4th bottle of this sunscreen. If you follow me on Instagram also, you know that I keep talking about the importance of sunscreen. So I'm 3 bottles down already, because sunscreen is such an important product in your skincare routine, no matter whether or not you're going out in the sun or not. Even when I'm sitting right now indoors in my house, I have sunscreen on, and believe me boy, the summers are here. I feel like right after Holi, it just became really, really hot everywhere. I don't know if you can see, but I'm sweating a little bit right now. But this sunscreen, guys, is incredible. So they have SPF of 50 in this sunscreen, which I think is amazing. SPF stands for sun protection factor. And this one is not just with SPF 50, but it's also PA rated, which means that there are now 2 types of sun rays, which is UVA and UVB. And not a lot of sunscreens will provide you protection from UVA rays, which can in turn cause tanning and is just very harmful for your skin. So this sunscreen checks off all the boxes that there should be in a sunscreen. This sunscreen, guys, will never leave a gray cast on your face. I use it under my makeups. This one is super, super liquidy. It's just like a moisturizer that you put on, and I love to go over this sunscreen with a gua sha as well. Now, what hyaluronic acid does is that not just is it hydrating and nourishing for your skin, so it's gonna help prevent the wrinkles and all the sun damage that can happen to your skin, but it also actually helps in retaining collagen, which is a really nice skin protein which you should have. And so not just is this sunscreen going to protect you from the sun, but it's also going to work as an anti-aging component in your skincare regime, because you're not going to get fine lines, you're not going to get wrinkles. So if you've been looking for a sunscreen with the summers coming up, I would highly recommend this product. You should definitely go check it out. It's available on Amazon, Nykaa, Flipkart, and even the Dermaco website, where you can use my code as usual to get 20% off. Now, coming back to preparing ourselves mentally for a pageant, there was this one instance in Miss India 2019 where Natasha Grover, who is also the brand's operation head of Femina organization, sat us all down, and she asked us how many of you have pictured the crown on your head, because we obviously talk about manifestation. And during the pageant, I remember a lot of girls had their wallpaper, their WhatsApp DPs all set as the Miss India crown. And she asked that question, and obviously everyone raised their hands. And then she asked the question, how many of you have pictured losing and not winning on stage? And nobody raised their hand. And that was a very important lesson during my journey, because what she said about that whole thought process is that yes, you should want to manifest, but at the same time, let's be very, very realistic. Let's be practical. Do you want to put all of your hopes and all of your self-worth into one crown? Absolutely not. So why not prepare for either scenario as well? It doesn't mean to say that I'm going to be okay with losing, but the thing is, she did not want any of us to be shattered completely in case we do not win the crown, which is so, so important. And I always tend to, look at the facial reactions of the contestant who did not end up winning. And it takes a lot of courage and a lot of preparing yourself mentally to be able to accept, not defeat, I would say you're still a winner if you didn't win the crown, but to accept that moment and to accept the reality with grace in that moment, and to be able to really, really be happy for the other person. And so I remember one line that we had heard is that, and it just stuck in my mind, if she wins, I win. Another person's victory is not your failure. And if you remember this in your mind, it's going to be so much easier for you to enjoy your pageant journey and to actually take away learning experiences than to come home bitter about not having won. So because the pageants are coming up, I think start right now itself. You have to find whatever, centers you, whatever is going to be your worth and the measure of your worth and what really means the most to you. This leads me to my third point, which I remember I once said this line during an answer when I was participating in India's Miss TGPC back in 2018. And I don't remember the exact question anymore, but I said something like, do not participate in a pageant to measure your self-worth or to compete for a crown itself. But remember that you are participating to put yourself out there, because that's a huge opportunity that pageants provide to you. When we talk about one of the biggest advantages that you get by being in a pageant itself is that that platform puts you at the right place at the right time, which is so important when you are trying to get into modeling, acting, and this industry. It is a lot about being at the right place at the right time. So that's what the platform offers to you. The crown is a cherry on top. And so I concluded my answer by saying that participate in a pageant, but learn to love yourself regardless of the results. Because if you start thinking a beauty pageant winner is the most beautiful contestant, that is not true. My fourth tip for anyone preparing for a pageant right now is, and if you've been watching my channel lately, you already have heard me speak about this, but it's not that the winner's life is set for her entire future. Believe me, that's not true. There have been a lot of winners who have left behind a legacy who we remember, but then there are also winners that we don't remember sometimes. And the thing is that pageantry is not a career, but what you do with the title afterwards, the work that you put in, how do you create your own identity? You're not just wanting to be another Miss India, another Miss World. Do you remember all the Miss Indias from the last 2 decades? Not all of them, right? But then there are some who made a mark, and those are the ones that we look up to for inspiration. And so try to have your goal bigger than the crown. Focus on what you want to create as impact. Focus on the identity that you want to create for yourself. And so put things into that perspective so that you are heading into the journey looking at the bright side of things and not stressing about the results so much. And so if you want to understand more of how you can actually use your pageant exposure and platform to further build a career for yourself, further build a personal brand, then in fact I've made a previous video called Life After Pageants, which I'm going to link over here, so you can obviously go watch it. There's plenty of other videos that will help you mentally prepare in a way, but where I've not really explicitly spoken about the things that I have today. So I'm going to link all of those in the description box for your reference, because it's peak season, guys. It's high time that you focus not just on the ramp walk, not just on answering questions or your introduction and memorizing it. In fact, don't ever memorize your introduction. But apart from all of these segments as well, sometimes when we look at certain contestants and we see she's so calm and composed and she's so centered and she's just very, very prepared. In fact, it's the most prepared candidate that wins. So the thing that they have been doing is that the extra hours that you put in, the extra mile that you go, it's this mental preparation that really, really makes a difference, because how you feel on the inside is going to show on the outside even without you speaking. And that needs to be your aura that you create. So figure out what helps you center. It could be meditation for you. It could be journaling for you. It could just be maybe sitting with your plants a little while. It could be anything, but find time for yourself and to center yourself, even if it's just 10-15 minutes a day, because believe me, I know how hectic pageant preparation days are. It's so easy to be caught up in the whirlwind of the pageant and to focus on what is she doing, or her video is better, or she got this photo shoot done and she's using this, and so-and-so person reposted this. With social media, every time you open up your phone, there are 100 reasons for you to feel like maybe you're not there yet, maybe you're not working hard enough. But then that's not going to be good for your pageant performance. So remember to shut down your phone and center yourself whenever you feel that is happening. Focus on yourself. Know the competition, do your research, but once you're in the pageant, stop looking at your competitors. So that's all for today's video, guys. I hope it helped you understand the psychology of pageants more, and that you will all take out the time to prioritize your own mental health now. I really hope you guys are preparing, and I wish you all the very best of luck for your upcoming pageants. As always, I love you guys so much, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye-bye.